So we've spoken, I've done all my little spiels about the auto, the home, the umbrella today, and I know I've briefly touched base before on the Signal app that we have coming out. And I don't know if I've ever talked about that. It is out, and now I've actually used it for a month. And I wanted to talk about it and then get your guys' feedback. We're going to do an interactive kind of thing. So this is a huge phone, I know, so you guys are sure be able to see everything that I'm trying to do. But at least it guides me through it. So diving down into what the app actually does, it tracks your driving habits, right? So it's not like anytime you use Waze or MapQuest or like that and you're driving to wherever you're going, like it tracks your speed. And actually, because of GPS and coordinates and Lord knows whatever else, it knows how hard you're braking, how hard you're accelerating. If you have it, and it's like, so the app's attached to your phone, so anytime if you're touching your phone or doing something on your phone, it notices that you're that you're driving distracted.
I'm so getting this
I know. This is good. This is exactly what I want to find out. So, Farmer's introducing it, like I mentioned before. If you sign up for it as a Farmer's customer, you instantly get a 3% discount. But once you've done 100 trips, which I thought might take a while, but you know, when you go to the gas station and back home and all over, I hit it within like 2 weeks, so it was actually really easy to hit. Once you've done that, then it says, okay, on your renewal, you can get up to a 15% discount. Now that's a pretty significant discount, especially for anybody that has kids driving on their account, or if you have multiple cars or all that kind of good features. So going through the app right off the bat, it shows. So this is me and my wife. If you tell, I actually drive less distracted than she does, which makes for great conversations at dinner. And so just like the first one here, so you guys can't see, it says distraction-free trip. So I'm at 71%. There's no doubt that we're going to have some distracted trips. That's the world we live in right now, right? But honestly, when I pull this app up, so when my wife texts me or whatever, I'm like, no, it's gonna ruin my score.
Yeah, true.
Then she gets mad, she texts me again, and I'm like, hey, leave me alone. It's good. So now when we get home, I'm like, I didn't want to ruin my score. I'm trying to save us money.
Right.
You're trying to make sure I pick up eggs on the way home. It's not a big deal.
What
Like, just call.
on the radio?
So the radio is not a deal at all. This is strictly on the phone.
You
So
flip off somebody that pisses you off. No, I'm kidding.
this strictly knows like when you're touching the phone.
Right.
So it knows when you're using the phone, like calling somebody, and it doesn't hurt you as bad because they realize that hands-free, so at least you're doing hands-free. Truth of the matter is though, when you are still talking on the phone, you are still distracted. There's no doubt about it, right? Like if somebody asks a hard question, like what's my birthday? I'm like, damn it, when was my birthday?
Right.
You know, when you're driving like that.
How does that know you're driving, not riding?
Riding?
Like the passenger.
Oh, okay.
'Cause you're
riding,
moving.
got you. So it does not, right? And I'm kind of glad it doesn't, because that's really invasive if it was like, no, I can already tell that you're not. So at the end of a trip, or whenever it's done, then you would just go in and say that you were the passenger.
Oh, okay.
Now, with technology being as genius as it is nowadays, once you log so many trips, it knows by your acceleration and your braking style and all that stuff that this was more likely. So at some point, it probably will decipher between whether or not I'm driving. But I don't know in the meantime how long it takes to probably figure that out. So distraction-free trips. Now, you get different scores for different phases. So right now, my overall driving score is 79, which is actually like amazing, really good. Like obviously 100 is the best. Nobody's 100. Well,
you have to be amazing. You're a farmer's agent.
Yeah, right. As I drive without my insurance ID card, like what the hell was that? No, I mean I drive to and from work at a small clips, so I don't go very far. But since honestly, before I was like a 67, and once I started realizing, I'm not going to take that call, or I'm not going to text, or whatever, that doesn't need to be looked at while I was driving. It truly has improved my driving. So I'm like, okay, before I was not a believer in all this kind of stuff. I don't need Big Brother keeping an eye on me. But little note there, Farmers does not share any information with anybody. Now we say that, but we all know that some people have access there. And that's
Can farmers look in and see like, oh, this guy was in an accident?
Can they what?
Like if you got in an accident, would they look in?
So this will never tell you if you got in an accident or
I know,
it
whether
doesn't
they
know
look
that.
at your record.
But they already use that anyway, right? So if you got in an accident, we would already know that. That would be on a whole separate side. So it's the app is up to 15%, but no matter what, even if you're the worst driver on the planet, you get a 0.5% discount. No, that's probably going to save you a Starbucks coffee on the way home. But it's not meant to penalize whatsoever. So you get individual scores for distracted driving. So right now, I'm a 77. It doesn't tell me my wife's score; it just says the overall trips. And you could actually, they do it to where you can make it a game with other people in the house, which is really clever, right? If you have teenage drivers, you want to be on that all the time because distracted driving is the major problem with that. So the next one scores an overall braking score. Now I'm trying to figure this out because I'm like, I don't slam on my brakes. I'm pretty much smooth driving all the way to work now. I feel like an old man every time I just get to work. So, but it has told me that I brake excessively and often. And it doesn't say when I'm like, you dumbass, like, stay out of my lane, anything like that. It doesn't know any of that stuff. But, so apparently I'm still got working on my braking score. My overall speeding score is an 82, which is really good. So it gives you green. It makes you feel good because you don't do it. I self-proclaimer here. We went to Walla Walla last weekend. Wife and I finally got away from the kids, and it felt amazing. And that's a really long trip. So this also tracks your mileage. So when we finished the trip, I did go in and say that I was a passenger for both of us because I do not want it thinking that I drive that many miles on a normal basis, right? And I clearly sped because it was 6 hours to get home, so we had to get home a decent time. So you can go and change, but in grand scheme of things, it's
score
good.
just went off.
I said,
Yeah,
hey,
exactly.
you have to, because you're sitting there
to take the hit
Facebooking
on
the
this.
whole time. Like everybody just saw all wine country from us, and 1 minute. Really?
Even if you're not driving, that still counts.
So and then the last score we have is an overall time of day score, which I can't control that. Yeah, so if you're driving in rush hour traffic, not your fault, nothing you can do about it, but you are higher risk because of that. So the reason this model came out is they're saying if the best drivers do want to get rewarded, this is the hands down best way to reward the best drivers. It is not a credit scoring, it's not a age or anything like that. It's strictly, are you a good driver or are you not? And now I offer it to everybody on my reviews because I always want them to be aware of discounts. And I have gotten very little people doing it. Now, which is fine to me because I get paid on premium. So the more they want to pay, the happier we are. 2 minutes? Oh, okay. But I thought I wanted to open up to find out from you guys. Like, what do you feel about? Do you feel like it's too intrusive or it's too? Because this is going to be the way all insurance companies go at some point.
I would say, given the climate of all that's happening and the media attention on happening, all that kind of stuff, that it would make me leery. I'm married to Captain Security, who's an IT security. So it does make me kind of go, ooh, wait a minute. So what can farmers do to assure people who get that app that that information is locked down and not going to happen?
Yeah, so they do have, it's some proprietary thing in the background that says we do not share this information with anybody, so on and so forth. This is strictly farmer, we hired a company to build our app, so it's not even on their own build. This is farmers specifically. We're not paying MapQuest to keep an eye on it for us and try to do it that way. So it's just the farmers company regulated thing. That being said, everybody's concern is, or not everybody, I should, but like the government intervention of it. And I can only say, well, they tell me that it's not there, but who knows what the government's
It could be
doing?
correct.
I don't know.
Anyway.
Yeah. My thought back to that same point though is, this just tracks your driving habits. What are you feeling safe about logging into your bank account online and paying with your debit or credit card to a company like that. So I'm way more concerned about that than this, because I don't typically run away from the government or the police, but if I was to, I'd probably just throw my phone out the window and just leave it there because I don't know where they're tracking. Right? So there's that security problem with everything. But that's a very valid concern, and that's
Well, I'm just
my main
saying, it's
question.
like with things like Apple Pay, your card isn't really, your information isn't there. It's a one-time transaction code that developed for that pay. So they've gone to measures to make sure that that banking stuff is relatively secure. I don't go to my online bank on my
Right.
phone. But, so I mean, I just wondered if they are offered any assurances about encrypted data or, you know, that kind of stuff. So I just wondered.
Good question. We'll
Because if I
find
was
more
gonna
about that.
ask my husband to get that app, I damn well better know the answer to that question.
Yeah, it's the people that would benefit from the app the most are the least likely to do it. Like all my senior drivers that are retired and don't drive much.
Right.
And they're like, no, I don't want it.
Right.
And half of them, they just got smartphones. I'm like, you just did Facebook.
Right.
Facebook actually knows everywhere we are.
Well, and so a lot of the apps you're okaying them to track and you don't even know it. You're agree, and they're watching where your phone is all the time.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
Is there enough data to show that the correlation between claims and
No, this has only been
that's
out
what I would
for
be concerned about.
so Progressive's had Snapshot for I don't know, 7-8 years now, for a really long time, and so from what they've calculated, they've noticed some, but they're not saying that's proprietary. They're not sharing enough of that, but what this app is trying to gather from farmers, and like the reason why I don't want it or why I think some people may not want it is because at some point, then you're just going to say, we know you're going to get this. It's a predictive model. We're going to charge you even more later. But then I still come back to it and say, well, yeah, but if you're speeding and on your phone all the time, then you aren't going to get an accident. I don't care if you're the best distracted
Right.
driver in the world. You're a distracted. It's like the drunk driver that says, oh, no, I drive better when I've been drinking because I obey the law. Really? Yeah, like that doesn't make sense. So
Can a non-customer use the app?
no, you gotta be a phone customer.
So farmers is the only one doing it?
Nah, there's Progressive Snapshot.
So tell me one more time for the notes, up to a 15% discount,
Mm-hmm.
but you said something about 3% in the beginning.
You get 3% just for signing up to the app, and then that can grow to a 15% depending on your driving habits. Or shrink to a 0.5%.
How would you drive?
Do they give you a goal to hit, like, do they let you know what point that discount goes to the next level? Like if you hit 80%, 85%, 90% in these categories, or how's that decision made?
Yeah, that's the one thing we're still gathering on, because they do say, like, they have breakdowns of here's your percentage for the discount. I'm like, okay, but what if I'm 72?
Right.
And not at 76? Like, where's the break point?
Right.
And their model is actually, like, it scales down, and I don't have the exact answer on that yet.
Okay,
But that's one thing I definitely need to know.
thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Now to the meat of